Hello and welcome to Kirkistown for round 7 of the Kirkistown FIesta Zetec Championship. We've got a fabulous array of machines out this weekend, but we're going to have a quick word with Johnny Forsyth, who after 6 rounds is leading the championship. Johnny, 6 rounds in, leader of the championship. What can you do this round?
We'll just try and continue the form we've got. Hopefully we can keep going.
Yeah, and there's a long way to go, but today got perfect track conditions, low track temperature, slight breeze in the air, not too hot.
Yeah, so hopefully the tires will not go off and keep pushing right to the end of the session, and hopefully can improve lap on lap to the end.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good. And with that, I'll hand you over to our race commentator, Scott Woodwis.
Thanks, Anthony. Here is the grid for race 1 as the cars form up here at Kirkistown, with Johnny Forsyth and Mark Stewart on the front row of the grid, ahead of Paul Stewart and Thomas Agnew. Then Stuart Agnew, Daniel Conlon, Aaron O'Neill and Ricky Hull on row 4. Then Conor Mulholland, Roy Smith, Desi McGlade, Craig Brown and Norman Black complete the 13-car order here for race number 1 of the Fiesta Zetecs. There's a couple of cars with their doors open on this particularly warm afternoon here at Kirkistown. The 5-second board goes up. They'll watch for the red lights on the gantry at the top of the screen. Then when they go out, race 1 of the Fiesta Zetec Championship here at Kirkistown is underway. Good start from everyone for the first few rows. On board with Aaron O'Neill. The rather crowded pack of 13 cars charges down towards Debtors Dip for the first time in 2x2 formation. There's Stuart Agnew in the treble 2. Just in the mix with Daniel Conlon and also Paul Stewart. And down towards the right-hander, there goes Agnew up the inside of everyone. Into Colonial, that's a bold pass from the treble 2. I'm not sure if he made it stick, but the field all makes it through the complex at Colonial pretty safely. And up towards Fisherman for the first time. Into the right-hander, and your championship and race leader, Johnny Forsyth, looking pretty comfortable already at this early stage. But Mark Stewart in the black number 55 has held on to second place. So the attack from Agnew was fairly fruitful, but ultimately didn't get into the head of the pack, as Forsyth still leads and Stewart in second place. A little bit of rubbing there in the middle of the John Crosley chicane is Aaron O'Neill, and that is Paul Stewart. Paul Stewart in a complete 360 spin in the middle of the road. That will have terrified somebody. Paul Stewart in a big moment down the back straight towards the hairpin. He's down towards the back of the field. He's last and 13th as they head down towards the hairpin for the first time. There's Daniel Conlon as they head out of the hairpin onto the pit straight. It's Forsyth that leads, Stewart in second place, then it's Stuart Agnew in third. They head out of the hairpin, the last few cars towards the rear of the field. I'm sure Paul Stewart hopefully recovered from that. I don't think there was any major contact. It was more a case of he lost it by himself and just completely had to recover the car pretty quickly. So down towards Colonial for the second time. Mark Stewart in the black and white 55 coming under major pressure from the Agnew siblings. This is the onboard for Stuart Agnew in the treble 2, the silver car. Just behind him in the purple number 22 is his sibling Thomas. Through Fisherman's, keeping sight of the red car of Johnny Forsyth, who came into this weekend with a 31-point advantage. So he's looking to try and extend that. Starting from pole and taking a lights to flag victory will certainly help him do that. Out of the John Crosley chicane. Down the back straight towards the hairpin for the second time, as the heat haze starts to come up here from the circuit at Kirkistown. Forsyth leads on the right hand side, but look for the cars on the left. That's the fight we're watching for second place. Stewart and the two Agnews, Stewart and Thomas, into the hairpin together. Second, third and fourth all together. It's almost like a 12-wheeled Fiesta Zetec. They're that close together. Now Stewart immediately goes to the inside to defend the pit wall, as Stuart Agnew goes for the pass for second place, tucked in the slipstream. Thomas Agnew's not too far away, and the white car behind them trying to close in, that's Daniel Conlon. He started back down the order, but he's up to 5th position and on the charge to try and make himself a couple more spots and possibly get onto the podium. He's broken away from the 6th place battle that's headed up by Aaron O'Neill. He's got Ricky Hull and Roy Smith for company there. So the pack now heads its way back towards Fisherman's. And the brilliant thing about this little championship is these cars are practically the same machines that contested the Ford Credit Fiesta Championship that used to support the British Touring Car package back in the mid to late 90s. And it's great to see these cars still in contention and still with an active racing life, because of course it's good to see little hot hatchbacks giving these guys a chance to go racing on a budget. So that's a really good starting point for anyone in Northern Ireland that wants to go racing. Pick up one of these Fiestas and you can go racing on a pretty small budget in pretty competitive fashion. Now Mark Stewart having to go defensive into the hairpin and just about shuts the door on Stuart Agnew. Closed off the avenue up the inside into the apex. So they head out of the hairpin onto the pit straight again, and look at the rate that Daniel Conlon's closing. The white and orange car at the back of this 4-car train. There he goes, closing in as we see Ricky Hull ahead of Aaron O'Neill. There's been a change for position there for 6th place. Look at Johnny Forsyth in the red number 42, racing like the championship leader and reigning champion that he is, almost without a care in the world. So 2nd to 5th altogether. Here comes our scrap for 6th. Ricky Hull, Aaron O'Neill and Roy Smith. This is on board with Aaron O'Neill again, in the 99. And the yellow square with the black cross on the rear bumper of Ricky Hull's car, that signals that he is a rookie driver. So he has done less than 6 races. Anyone that's a complete novice, effectively, I say that in the nicest possible way, is someone who is still basically new to racing and developing as a driver. But once they've done 6 races and gained their 6 signatures, they can remove that cross from the rear bumper of their car. As the leaders come back down towards the hairpin again. Forsyth with a relatively comfortable lead. Not completely, but he seems to be holding his own. Scrap for 2nd place though as Agnew tries to go round the outside of Stewart. And also Ricky Hull has to defend from both Roy Smith and also Aaron O'Neill. Here's the rest of our field heading into the hairpin, including a recovering Paul Stewart with his left side wind mirror hanging off. He's just put a pass on the number 13, and that is Craig Brown. And he gets the move done on the exit of the hairpin as they turn their way down the pit straight. Now back to 2nd place, and they're all over each other because Mark Stewart has now got Thomas Agnew just behind him. Stuart Agnew going round the outside, but Thomas will not let him have that position easily. Exton Colonial, Stuart Agnew says, "Oh, forget this, I'll take the shortcut across the grass." But I'm pretty sure that his rivals and also the stewards won't favour that one too lightly, as Stuart Agnew has maintained his 3rd place. I'm pretty sure the rules have to say you have to give that position back, because he has gained some kind of an advantage because he's kept his 3rd position behind Mark Stewart. Nevertheless, it's fantastic racing to watch. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all on a train together and showing no sign of letting up anytime soon. As for Johnny Forsyth, he's treating this like a very casual Sunday drive. Up towards the hairpin. It's anything but behind him though, because Stuart Agnew again goes to the outside for 2nd place. But once more, Mark Stewart has the line covered. Stewart takes a slightly tighter exit to hold towards the pit wall because he knows that the attack that Agnew wants to put on is coming, and he will come. Agnew down the pit straight now, on board with the treble 2. Must be getting a little bit fed up staring at the back of Mark Stewart's car, but to be fair, Mark is putting up a stellar defence and a stellar driving effort in 2nd place. Flat out through Debtor's Dip, up towards Colonial for another lap, under brakes. And up the inside, almost into the right-hander. Agnew was thinking about it. He thought about a move up the inside, but Stewart had enough momentum and the line and track position to close off that avenue before Stewart had more time to explore it. So out of Fisherman's, it's still Mark Stewart in 2nd place, Stuart Agnew in 3rd. Thomas Agnew's getting very agitated behind his sibling. Into the S's now, the John Crosley chicane. Daniel Conlon is giving it everything too. He's not letting these top 3 get away in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And then we have our fight for 6th, still headed by Ricky Hull. Then Aaron O'Neill and Roy Smith in contention as well. Up towards the hairpin again. Forsyth still your leader. And Agnew coming out for 2nd place, trying to go round the outside of Mark Stewart. Thomas Agnew was there for company. Battle for 6 days as it was, but it's now side by side for 2nd place. Now initially this will be perfect for Stuart Agnew because he'll have the inside line for Debtor's Dip, but if he can't get the move done, he'll then be on the outside for Colonial, and that will give Mark Stewart the line and the track position he needs. So there's Johnny Forsyth, one of 2nd place. Here they come, the fantastic 4 for P2 down to P5, and it's Stewart on the inside, but look at Thomas Agnew going up the inside of Stewart. Stuart Agnew has to open up the door, and Thomas has got through. And now Mark Stewart goes rally crossing across the grass on the exit of Colonial. They are all over each other for 2nd place, and it's not over yet. A brilliant 4-car scrap between Mark Stewart, Thomas Agnew, Stuart Agnew and Daniel Conlon. These four are not giving an inch. This is superb racing at Kirkistown for the Fiesta Zetec Championship. Back through the chicane once again. Thomas Agnew launching himself over the curbs. He really is fired up at the moment. Onto the back straight once again. There's our battle for 6th between Hull, Aaron O'Neill, and also Roy Smith behind in his mirrors. O'Neill closing in the slipstream. Try and get a move if he can. Down towards the hairpin. Got to go left, I think. Down to the outside. Now putting him alongside his door. Into the hairpin. Try the cutback, or is there enough grip and momentum around the outside? What's crucial here is that, again, like Stuart Agnew was when he was trying to pass Mark Stewart, it's on the inside line for Debtor's Dip. Now, again, if O'Neill can make this pass stick through Debtor's Dip and get in front before Colonial, back into 6th position. Into Debtor's Dip, he's edging himself forward, got the inside line, and I think might have this move. Ricky Hull is still there, but O'Neill moves across and got the move done. So a brilliant piece of driving that started back at the hairpin for Aaron O'Neill at Ricky Hull's expense. A great sequence of corners from the 99, and now it's left for Ricky Hull to change his role from hunted to hunter, because now it's his opportunity to claim that position back. But he's also got to be careful, because Roy Smith in the red Fiesta behind him is not going away anytime soon. There he is over the curbs. Back with our leaders, Johnny Forsyth in another red Fiesta, this one dominantly leading the race, and probably looking in his mirrors and probably laughing to himself as he sees the battle for 2nd place, as now Thomas Agnew has to defend from Mark Stewart, who wants that P2 back, as now we see Aaron O'Neill has got back past Ricky Hull. So that's obviously happened at some point as Hull gives O'Neill a friendly nudge. I think you'll find that was my 6th place, if you don't mind, Aaron. But I think that O'Neill's not paying attention to that too much. As they head down the pit straight once again. Johnny Forsyth continuing to lead like the champion he is. But Thomas Agnew is not safe in 2nd place. They're all over each other again towards Colonial. But we stay with our battle for 6th. It's still O'Neill ahead of Hull. Hull looks again towards the inside. Has to be careful not to make contact again. Otherwise, if he does that too much, then the stewards won't be too happy with that one. Once again, almost rubbing door panels on the exit of Colonial. Now here comes Roy Smith to the outside, number 12. The red car at the back of this 3-car queue. A lock-up from Aaron O'Neill. Cocks a wheel into Fisherman's. But still, Ricky Hull will not let go, and neither will Roy Smith. I sense this is going to be a battle that will go all the way to the checkered flag as they head back through the chicane again for another lap. Down towards the hairpin again. Forsyth ever extending his lead as the 4 cars behind continue to scrap. And look at Daniel Conlon, because Stuart Agnew's lost time. And there goes Mark Stewart trying to go up the inside of Thomas Agnew. 2 wheels on the grass. That was never going to work. But the car to watch is Daniel Conlon as the battle goes in. And Roy Smith hits the back of Ricky Hull. Ricky Hull pinballs into Aaron O'Neill. Ricky Hull then cuts off the avenue which saw Roy Smith trying to get past. No, you don't, Roy. I don't really appreciate being hit up the rear, thank you very much. And out of all of that, Ricky Hull is actually the benefited, because the contact he made has now allowed him to get back past the P6. Back into Colonials for 2nd place. Daniel Conlon's all over the place behind Thomas Agnew. Mark Stewart's in the mix now in 4th position, and Stuart Agnew, his earlier pace that got him up as high as 3rd, he's faded away ever so slightly, and he's getting ever so slightly further distance from the back of the 3-car train for 2nd place. So it's all change again, because Thomas Agnew holds 2nd place, but it's now Daniel Conlon in 3rd place. The white and orange car, number 26, in the middle of this train as Agnew goes over the curbs, puts 2 wheels on the grass. That may have lost him momentum. And back down the back straight again. Conlon looking this way and that. You can see him darting around the back of the 22, looking for an avenue to get through. Down towards the hairpin. Conlon has to go to the outside. Stewart thinks about doing the same as well. Back into the hairpin again. Now then, is Conlon going to take the tighter run off the corner? He might do. But also, Thomas Agnew may think about moving towards the pit wall to defend his position. They're line astern again down the pit straight. And there's a black and white flag going out for somebody. I can't see who it is because the numbers are facing away from the camera. But it's going to be someone in double figures. There goes Ricky Hull with Aaron O'Neill tucked in behind. And then Roy Smith. Back to battle for 2nd. Agnew looking to the inside to defend. Covers that left-hand side from Conlon. Mark Stewart in the mix still too. in 4th place in the black number 55. Cracking first race for these Northern Irish Fiesta Zetecs here at Kirkistown. Really putting on a show for the spectators and the marshals. And it's been clean for the most part, but these guys really do know how to get the robos out and get stuck in here. Back into the John Crossley chicane again. It's still Thomas Agnew from Daniel Conlon from Mark Stewart. They're all clouting over the curbs, not giving an inch as they head down towards the hairpin once again. Johnny Forsyth continuing his lead fairly effortlessly in the number 42. Not really being challenged, but I can't say the same for Thomas Agnew, who's now got Mark Stewart to his outside, Conlon looking to his inside. Stewart thinks about passing Conlon as well. They are all over each other. Once again, off the corner, Stewart now looks to the outside of Daniel Conlon if he can put himself alongside as they head down the pit straight towards Debtor's Dip. The black and white flag goes out again for another driver. Can't quite see, it's 22. So that is Thomas Agnew, in fact. And I suspect he may have got that the first time around. So Thomas Agnew had been given the black and white flag. I mean, either that's for driving standards or track limits, I'm not 100%, but if he carries on misdemeaning, he may lose it and get a penalty, as there goes Mark Stewart up the inside of Daniel Conlon. That could be crucial for 3rd place. Daniel Conlon loses 3rd place to Mark Stewart, who now starts chasing after Thomas Agnew for 2nd place. So I suspect that first penalty, as I was saying, went to Thomas Agnew. He's got a 2nd black and white flag. If he keeps on misdemeaning, he'll get himself a black flag and he'll be disqualified at the end of the race. So we'll have to keep an eye on what happens there. All over the curbs on the exit of the chicane. Down the back straight once more. The Stewart Agnew, the silver car in the background, the 222, has faded away quite substantially. He was in this fight for 2nd place, but he seems to have faded a little bit here. Back into the hairpin, Forsyth still leading. Thomas Agnew with a big defensive effort, putting his number 22 car literally in the middle of the road to prevent any sort of attack. And he's got the better run off the corner to fend off Mark Stewart. Conlon takes the wider line to tuck back in as we head down the pit straight, and the last lap board is out. So one more tour of the 1.5 mile Kirkistown circuit to go. And the fight for 6th isn't done either, because now we've got Aaron O'Neill charging after Ricky Hull down the pit straight. They take the last lap board up towards Debtor's Dip for the last time, flat out through the left-hander. Hull's created quite a gap here, but I'm pretty sure that O'Neill will try and close back in under brakes here. A little bit later on that middle pedal into Colonial. Slightly deep from Hull, but he tries to cut back on the exit, and now this could give O'Neill a chance to get through on the last lap of the race. The battle for 2nd place is not letting up an inch. They've got about half a lap to go now into the John Crossley chicane for the final time. And you have to say that that man there, Johnny Forsyth in the red number 42, has had literally nothing to worry about other than looking in his mirrors and probably laughing to himself at the rate that the 4 cars behind have been scrapping hand over fist as he heads towards the hairpin for the final time. That fight for 2nd is still not over. But out of the final corner for the last time, he's driven like a true champion and continues to consolidate his championship lead with a superb lights to flag victory. Up towards the checkered flag, Johnny Forsyth wins the first Fiesta Zetec race at Kirkistown, but it's side by side for 2nd place, and I think Daniel Conlon got it on the line. He snatched it from Thomas Agnew and Mark Stewart. What a run to the line that was. A fantastic battle as the scrap for 6th comes across. Ricky Hull beats O'Neill and Roy Smith. And the final results now on the screen. Johnny Forsyth wins, Daniel Conlon in 2nd place, then Mark Stewart, and it's Stewart Agnew in 4th place, with Ricky Hull in 5th, Aaron O'Neill in 6th, then Roy Smith, Paul Stewart and Desi McGlade, Conor Mulholland and Craig Brown in 10th and 11th, and Thomas Agnew disqualified at the end of the race for too many black and white flags. Incredible racing at Kirkistown. Race 2 is coming up.